you know. But it's interesting how when I do these live streams for Facebook, all these cowards that always have something to say about my posts, they never chime in. So that tells you something right there. They don't want to, they have nothing to say about real issues, which is what I love, actually. But I love the fact that, you know, as black men, we have to make sure that we are in the right state of mind, because we in some tumultuous times right now. So some of the topics I wanted to talk about tonight, as far as the state of affairs of black men, because I'm only want to be on here 30 minutes, is number one, you know, like we always talk about, you have no support, bro. You have no real support from nobody in society. So you need to understand that. You on here alone, you by yourself. You don't have that kind of support. You may get help. You know, I heard a woman today say, oh, I help black men. See, helping, it's like my mother. She helps my son with stuff, but he don't come to me with stuff because I don't support the bad behavior. So helping and support are two different things. And I think that that's another show to really dive into that. But we have a bad habit of saying you helping somebody, but you, like, let's say for example, you give a crackhead, you know they crackheads and you know that they into drugs and stuff like that, but you keep giving them money saying you helping them. But in fact, you're not helping them at all. You actually, you know, you're supporting their behavior. It's nothing of help. There's nothing of help that you're doing. You're really supporting their bad behavior, and they continue. It's gray hair. Oh shit, it's like gray hair. Damn. You know, you're supporting their behavior, but there's nothing of real help that you're giving them. So you're aiding them on into disaster. Move some stuff out of the way, and that's a problem. And a lot of our people, a lot of our men are being helped in that way, and that's true. They get a lot of help, but they're not getting true support. That's something that we have to really keep in mind as black men. You know, you have to get yourself in a better position to make sure that people can support you. You know, those are key things, key factors that that will actually push you to the next level. So you have to make sure that you get yourself, your mind, your body, and your spirit right, so you can be prepared for this new age, because we're coming upon a new age in society. It's called the age of Aquarius. Okay, you know, the average people in society are really dumb at this point. They are getting ushered right into to the shredder. Okay, so they getting ready to be shredded up, but you know, they embrace that, you know, and they are accepting their fate, you know. But for black men, we got all this bullshit going on. There's some topics I'm gonna touch on today. I'm gonna touch on the whole Black Lives Matter movement, the vaccines, the Black Trans Lives Matter movement, voting, the pedophilia. These are some of the topics that, you know, that we want to talk about tonight. But I'm just saying, first and foremost, you know, you as a black man, you have to really understand you have no support. You have none at all. So it's your duty to restore order in society. It's just your duty. The time is up. You know, they have bet everything on their handlers. They have already fucked the world up. Okay, we done already seen that. So they're gonna usher out these new vaccines and see. But y'all need to understand. Let's go ahead and talk about that first. Well, no, I'm not gonna talk about that. I had that third, but we kind of ushered in it. But I'm gonna start with the Black Lives Matter movement. Well, if you go to the Black Lives Matter movement website, you will see that it's anti-family. What is anti-family? Anti-family is having a man and woman and child in society healthy and being supported to stay healthy, to stay together and build a constructive society. But that foundation is ripped apart and shredded, and the Black Lives Matter movement is all for that. So what y'all don't understand is that the Black Lives Matter movement, because I'm seeing it through the basketball game commercials, I'm seeing it through that bullshit. What they actually doing is putting the definition and what Black Lives Matter mean, especially going into this new election year. So you're looking at this and you're saying to yourself that this is some bullshit, because they're defining what the black family structure is going to be. That's what the whole Black Lives Matter mean. That's why it's on the NBA basketball court. This is why it's on your t-shirts. This is why they push it so heavily and no real backlash. This is why it's supported like a motherfucker. You know, almost up to $1 billion I last read of money, endorsements and all that kind of bullshit. So that's something right there, real skeptical right there, to really keep your eyebrow up. So the black man need to understand where he falls in that. He's not included in that program. Okay, he's not included in the restructuring of that black family. He's further and further pushed out, which is one of the last points I'm gonna talk about on the voting. But he's further and further pushed out of the conversation of being in a family structure, a healthy family structure. Okay, that's number one. So we have to really keep in mind that this whole Black Lives Matter movement is very dangerous. And really, this is the last call for, because you know a lot of Jewish people have been, George Soros and a few other companies, major supporters of this Black Lives Matter movement. And so you have to really question why that is, you know, so, because they can't give you reparations, but they support that. So, you know, you got a lot of feminists, you got the homosexual agenda in it. And I have nothing against people's beliefs in now, saying if you believe that, cool, you know, but you're forcing an agenda onto, you're misguiding them in this misinformation that is supported and is all founded on the backs of black men. This is why I'm saying, as black men, you have to be aware of this. So I'm giving y'all this knowledge tonight. Okay, so that whole, I may do a whole video on the Black Lives Matter movement and the dangers and what it's proposing for our future and our children in days and years to come. So I don't support that movement at all whatsoever. Number two, this is pivotal because it's piggybacking off of the Black Trans Lives Matter movement. Well, the Black Trans Lives Matter movement is some bullshit, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I went on their website as well. So you gotta do the research on this shit. I went on their website and I forgot the lady's name. I had it in my other notes, but the lady, woman, man, child, whatever. But they started their movement on the backs of Michael Brown and the killing of him, and I think in St. Louis. And what's interesting about it is, here again, yet another movement founded on the backs of black men. So, in the grounds of supporting black men. So it's all bullshit. So, but my position, my take on this, most people, and you heard it here first, I'm gonna be the first to say this, but the whole Black Trans Lives Matter movement, and I'm gonna tell y'all this, and y'all mark this down. I believe, and I was sharing this with my brother, Pimp God, I believe that they're going to use that, because I started with the Black Lives Matter movement, pushing a man out of the home, okay? And all this funding is going to the Black Lives Matter movement. Black trans lives matter is coming through the back door, because the black trans woman man is going to be the new woman in our community. She's going to be replaced as the new woman in our community. So you have to accept that as a man, black man. I'm gonna say it again. The black trans woman, this is why they got all these TV shows and all this dumb shit. They forcing you to accept that. She's gonna be replaced to the new woman in the community. And the black woman herself, which is, it's just all lining up like a motherfucker. I mean, it's just so crazy. When I'm sitting here thinking about it, it's just lining up. Because I'm gonna go point by point. The Black Trans Lives Matter movement is positioning themselves as the new black woman in the community. So the black women in our society is going to be the new man, the black man in the community, because she's going to get all the funding, which you see. She's going to get all the positioning, which you see. She's ahead of all these dumbass movements, which you see. Now, tell me if I'm lying. Mayors, governors, you can go on and on. Head of all these organizations, Oprah, you know. So it's all bullshit. So, but I strongly believe that the Black Trans Lives Matter movement is positioning themselves as the new woman in the society, the new black woman in society. I really truly believe that. You know, so, you know, I started with the Black Lives Matter and how they pushing the men out. There's other agendas in that, and they're getting heavily funded. Black Trans Lives Matter movement is coming through the back door, and they're going to replace the black woman in our society as themselves to the black man, and whatever else that means. Okay, so we piggyback down. All right, let's go to pedophilia. Now, pedophilia, they're arranging this, and I said this years ago. I said they always wanted the child. That's always been the agenda. So you got a lot of the Catholicism, the Jewish community with all of their little practices they have, and atonement, and especially in the Catholic. I mean, how many stories we got to hear about that shit? Okay, but their degenerate society has always wanted children. So that was always the chief aim and goal. All of this was about the children. Okay, so, you know, and this information can save some of y'all lives too, man, of understanding. Because finally, I mean, my final point I'm gonna get on, you know, I'm just trying to knock these points out and just, you know, make this as smooth and quick as possible, because the pedophilia is really the next move after Black Lives Matter, because you take the man out to protect out the home. Black Trans Lives Matter. Okay, now you got a broken, complete, dysfunctional family, if you're gonna have one in a situation like that. So now you usher in pedophilia. So now the kids have no protection at all. So you could do whatever you want to children, and they're advocating for this shit. You know how fucked up we are when we having our children vulnerable to sick people? So we're putting our kids up, because even if you go, and this is not even about religion, but if you go and look at in the past, it's always the child, the firstborn. They try to kill out all the firstborn. I think it was Moses' story. It was another story too, but you want the firstborn, especially males. So you got pedophilia. So you open the whole thing up. And shit, people already doing it. And I'm gonna have some people on the show to talk about this. I'm gonna probably just, you know, hide their identity, but I'm gonna do some interviews on that. They're already doing it. So this shit that I'm telling y'all is this is not nothing I'm just pulling out my fucking ass. They're already doing it. A lot of these children are being molested by the droves, man. I mean, it's just sick. We're not even giving our fucking children a chance at this point. This is how far we have fallen in society. But we are enjoying the entertainment of these whores. So this is what we do. But you don't go to nobody else's community and do that. And see, everybody, all these people on here always fighting to fight for whores expressing themselves, but you don't do that in other groups and communities. That was my whole point when I did that post the other day. But it goes right over people's head because they stuck on stupid. And they just have to die, you know what I mean? It's just that simple. But, you know, pedophilia is the ultimate goal is to get your children, because that brings in and you know, this is something I learned from Pimp God, you know, the Keithias, you know, the age of the Aquarius, you know, the Ethiopian god, you know, that's what they fear, which means black, not Ethiopia, like, you know, that's what they fear. That is the Christ figure. So we have that going on, and we don't know it. You know, here we are. We got sports. The athletes wearing Black Lives Matter shirts and Black Lives Matters on the basketball court. You know, that's what we stuck on. You know, we waiting for football season. But meanwhile, they have an agenda for your life. See, this is where black people in entertainment is literally going to kill them. Literally. So, you know, I'm really sick and disgusted to even think that pedophilia and the tampering with our children is really where all of this shit is going. You know, if I find out anything that my children, you know, were violated in any such way, I'm telling you, that's the end of them too. You know, whoever did it, the culprits behind it, and knowing this shit was gonna happen, that demonic shit. See, black men, black men gonna have to pick a side. There's no more skating around. You look dumb as fuck coming on my channel, coming on my page, supporting the ignorance of this. See, you still stuck on bullshit. You still stuck on the age of belief and believing. That's, like I said before, that's where all these religions came out of. But now we have to move out of that thought. I seen the damn Bible on the ground today when I think it was a Quran. Damn, was it a Quran? But as I was talking about that subject, it was right there on the damn ground. That tells you something right there. That was pathetic, because we need to be making our own new. It need to be a new now. That was supposed to only serve to a certain period of time. That was supposed to only serve for a certain period of time. So, our babies, man, we gotta protect our babies, black men. We can't, you know, we gotta go out. That's how you're gonna have to do it. And see, the key is, you're gonna have to do this shit on a spiritual level, man, because a lot of y'all brothers trying to get guns. I had a client this week was talking about his guns, and he don't know what's going on, so a lot of uncertainty. But the weapons is not gonna do it. It can protect you a little bit. One-on-one battles, but on the spiritual plane, that's where you need to be, black men. The one-on-one is not gonna do it. Your gun ain't gonna do it. That was old. We tried that, didn't work. So now we gotta move out of that, okay? Now, this ushers in my other point with the vaccines. Now, they already agitating the fuck out of you wearing these damn masks, okay? And I was saying this a while ago, that the wearing these masks is a form of agitation.